Thanksgiving traditions my family has is we sit and we watch the Thanksgiving parade. And I grew up in New Jersey, so it wasn't unusual for us to go to the parade and watch the floats coming down the street and the big balloons and everything else. So I watched it on TV this time with my niece. She was in New Jersey and I was here. So we had fun watching the parade on TV together. And then, of course, that segued into the National Dog Show. So, if you're a dog lover, or if you've ever watched the dog show, you know the different breeds and sizes. So we go from the tiny little ones with the short, squat legs to our next slide, to the Saint Bernard, one of the working dogs. Yeah, he's got a tuxedo on. And I think that's one of the water dogs. And so I just marveled at the different breeds and sizes, the looks on their faces, the shape of the ears, tails can be long or short, long snout, short snout. Some are tall and elegant. Some are encased in hair.
Yeah, exactly.
And this is Best in Show, the Whippet, this year. Tall and stately, slender, athletic dog. And so it reminded me of the differences in each of us and how we all show up differently in this world. And I wondered, how do you compare all of these animals to find out which is best in show? What are the standards that you use in order to judge this? And as I was watching, one of the announcers said, the dogs aren't judged and compared to each other. They are judged against the standard for the breed. Whether or not they fit and have all of the characteristics at its best for that particular dog. So the tiny little one with the short squat legs is not compared to the Saint Bernard or the Whippet or the Great Dane. But don't we find ourselves in our lives comparing ourselves to every single person we meet, or somebody in our family, or somebody in our workplace, or somebody within our purview, and we deem ourselves either less than, greater than, the same as, oh, I got some things they don't have, they have some things I don't, wish I had that, wish I could do that, wish my whatever was shaped like that, or that comparisons are endless, aren't they? And so we get lost in these comparisons, trying to see whether or not we measure up. Am I on my game? Am I doing the right thing at this age or that age? Should I have done something different? Should I start doing it now? Will it make a difference? And then we compare ourselves again to see how do we measure up. I'm always one for competing against myself. And when my birthday comes around, rather than New Year's, I do this appraisal. Where am I now as opposed to the prior birthday? And what am I looking for in upcoming birthdays? So I thought some more about these standards we have that we just kind of make up, to which we think we need to aspire. And then when I really thought of it, there really is just one standard. And that's the great I am, our divinity, our divine self, spirit, Jesus, our way shower. Isn't that what we should be comparing ourselves to. And really, again, in unity, because we believe in oneness, there is nothing to compare ourselves to because there's nothing other than ourselves. Which seems like a mind bender. But if we always thought of whether or not we are meeting the gold standard or the divine standard, maybe then we could free ourselves of some of the negativity that happens when we compare ourselves to others, to other people. Because there really is no comparison. We talk about equality all the time, and we are equal in that we are all divine beings, but we all have different gifts and talents. Some of us have more hair, less hair. Some of us are taller, shorter, longer legs, shorter legs, different color hair, shaggy hair, straight hair, right? Some of us are athletic, some of us are not. Even those who are athletic, they don't have the same athletic ability. They may be power lifters as opposed to sprinters, marathon runners. So we come back to finding the standard for us, which really is our divinity. And yes, we talk about this all the time. And yes, that's all there is. And so I started thinking, what can we do? Because it really is about living the principle. Making it work for us. Making a difference in our lives, not just thinking about the stuff swirling in our heads. Yes, it's fine to think and to affirm, I am the light. But what does I am the light mean today at 12 noon? When I'm driving home. What does it mean tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. when I'm about to get up and start my day? What does I am the light mean? And for me it might be, and always is, getting up, starting my meditation time, having my exercise time, a good breakfast, and starting my day off in a high vibration as opposed to laying in bed and looking at puppy videos on Facebook or YouTube for an hour. And there are days I've done that and then missed my meditation time first thing in the morning because I was doing something else that didn't serve me. So for me that day, was I in my divinity, embracing it fully, as I'm watching puppy video number 15? Maybe so, maybe not. That's for me to know and to find my peace with. So I started to get excited about what is it that we can do here as spiritual seekers to embrace our divinity. And I think it's always easier to do this kind of work when we do it as a community. So then my imagination really started to go. And I came up with this idea that 2019 at Unity Spiritual Center, Saxe, is called the Year of I Am. The year of I am. And each of us, this mission, should you decide to accept it. I don't have a smoking cassette. So the year of I am. We are going to take 12 months, starting with the month of, so 13 months, starting with the month of December, because Advent, leading up to Christmas, is a season of rebirth. Finding what needs to blossom from within us out into the world. And so we talk about it every Sunday. And so now we're going to flip this into action for those of you who are interested and willing. So I don't know exactly what it's going to look like in totality, but this is how we're going to start. Have a journal or a notebook, something to keep notes, because there'll be homework and things we'll be doing on our own, things we'll do together, some of the things we'll do on Sundays. Either it'll be a part of my talks, and then we might spend some time after service doing some things, and we'll decide what Sunday that happens. And then you're going to choose one word only, that will complete your I am statement. I am love, I am peace. I decided on the word inspiration. I am inspiration. That has meaning for me. I get excited about that. I have pictures in my head about what that means for my life. And it encompasses all the things, all the work that I do. So one word you're going to choose for the end of the I am statement. And then at some point in the month of December, we'll make a list of characteristics that decide who you are when you are in the I am blank. What does that mean? What does it look like? What does it feel like? How do you express it? How do you show up? And then we're going to make a list of characteristics, behaviors, patterns, etc. that you will eliminate from your life as you step into that I am. And on Sunday, December 30, we'll have, I don't know if we'll do burning bowl, but we'll do something similar to that so that if there are some things we need to let go of, we can do it as a community together. And then write a short story of your life, and it doesn't have to be eloquent and compelling. Nobody's going to read it but you, unless you want to share it with the group. We may do that. About what your life looks like when that I am blank is in full blossom. And I say blossom because you're not acquiring something new. We are unearthing something. So this I am blank right now is a tight little rosebud. You know how you see them and all the petals are closed up? And as 2019 unfolds, that rose is going to open up into full bloom. This is a blossoming. It's an unearthing, an unleashing of this I am, of this divinity, this part of your divinity. Because this is a walk. This is a faith walk. This is an expression, your divinity. It's not something that we worship. It's something that we are and that we live. And so now this is where the rubber meets the road. If the rubber doesn't meet the road, the tires just spin and make noise. Nothing happens. There's no traction. There's no action. There's no expression. Remember we talked about let go and go higher last week? We're getting ready to let go. And so it might feel a little unsettling, because whenever we start to step into something that's new and different, it feels a little wonky, and we think, oh, I don't know. What the heck is she getting me into? I have the same thought and feeling, because it makes you step up. It's different when the rubber meets the road. And when we do it as a community, when we do it together, then others get to watch the journey, right? That's probably the scariest part of it. But one of the things I love about what we do here is that this is safe, sacred space. We love each other where we are. We accept each other where we are. And we know that there's this full blossoming waiting to happen. And we see it in each other all the time, don't we? Each of us can probably look at somebody else in this community and say, I see that in you. And then the other person gets to say, oh, I don't know. Not me. Not today. I'm not like that all the time. You know, we start explaining it away. Yeah. For what? That's one of the things we're going to eliminate so that we can get to, thank you. I see that in myself too. Yes, I see that in myself too. And sometimes you have to say it before you believe it, right? So we're done with the comparisons to each other. We're going to the one standard that matters, the one that is our divinity. The thing that we are called to every single day, whether you're listening or not. We are always called to our highest self. We are always called to our best. We are always called to what is right, whether we recognize it or not. Whether we want to accept it or not. Whether we want to embrace it or not. Whether we want to say thank you and step into it or not. It's always there. And most of us feel it bubbling up inside, at least on a daily basis, don't we? You feel it, you know it's there, you run around, oh, I don't know. Should I do that? Should I make that call? Should I speak to that person? Should I create this? Should I set this date for this class? Should I offer to sing? Should I do this? Should I do that? And in the meantime, your soul is still calling you out.
Yeah.
Still calling you out. So now this is an invitation to say, I'm not going to hide anymore. I'm not going to keep the light under the bushel. I'm going to allow the rose to bloom fully. I'm going to nurture it. I'm going to water it. I'm going to fertilize it, give it great sunlight. I'm going to talk to it. Play it happy music. Whatever it means, we're going to work on this together. So starting Wednesday nights, not the first week in January, but the second week in January, at 7 p.m. we're going to get together and we'll have a class. And we're going to use Eric Butterworth's Discover the Power Within You. Thank you very much. Discover the Power Within You. And with working through that book and the Unity Principles, we are going to blossom into our I am statements. And we'll start working on this in the month of December. Preparing for this. Getting the soil ready. Consciousness ready. So any of the anxiety you may currently be feeling, we're going to flip the switch on that anxiety. There should only be excitement about this. But I understand the anxiety that shows up. The fear that comes up whenever you say, I'm going to step into something else. It's not something else. It is you. It's been waiting, sitting, right here. Right here. calling your name, tapping on your shoulder, sending you all kinds of messages in movies and songs, billboards, things people say to you, things you read in books. You happen to pick something up and you read it and you say, gosh, there it is again. All right? We're all being called out. Take it from me, I'm #1 runner. From the stuff I'm called to. I'm used to running fast and hard. But now we're going to run forward. The year of I am. 2019. So it doesn't have to happen in a week. And it may not happen in a year. This is a journey. This is our life. And the one word you choose is something you can carry the rest of your days. 2019 will be the tip of the iceberg. Because with our divinity, with things that we start to unleash within ourselves, there's always something more. I have found whenever I get to a certain level with something I've wanted to achieve, I get there and I think, oh my gosh, I've come a long way, but man, is there a lot more work to do. Tip of the iceberg. But we're going to start exploring those depths within us and letting them shine outward and upward, out and around. Just like Dina said, the world is calling to us. And the magic that happens in this room with this small group of people, we might be small, but we're fierce. Look at the love and the joy and the support and the transformation that's happening just in this small group. This is what I want to bring to the rest of the world. Just like Jesus, we are way showers, light bearers. It's time to turn on the light. Raise it high. And step forward. Because there are other people who are lost, who need you as an example. There are other people in this room who need you as an example. The person you look at in the mirror needs you as an example. There's so much possibility sitting within each and every one of you. I think it's time to open up the barn doors. Right? So I am. What is it you're going to call up for yourself and for the world? Because whenever one part changes in this field of energy, the rest of the field shifts. Right? Wayne Dyer's quote. You've got a lot of people shining their divinity, then the world becomes more divine. Our experience of each other becomes more divine. And this small but mighty, fierce community is going to be the spark that makes that happen. So it's up to you if you want to say yes. And if you don't want to say yes, that is fine too. Remember, we love each other where we are. And you can either do it within the community at home. So I'll have resources that if you just want to do it by yourself at home, then that's possible too. You don't have to be in the community and in the Wednesday class in order for that to happen. But the Saturday group, when that starts working again, probably starting in January, we don't have a date for that yet, that's a part of that rewriting your story. That's a valuable part of this work. That group, they are all working on their divinity. So everything that we do here is going to complement this journey. And yes, you can still do it at home by yourself. It's all up to you. That's the wonderful thing. And there's the rub, right? It's just up to us. But I have a faith and an excitement about this community and where it's going and where it already is. Look what's happened since I first came here in February. It's palpable. When people walk through those doors, they feel something. That something is you. That something is you. Whether you're physically in this building or not. Yes. So the year of I Am starts next month. And I'm excited. And I'm excited to be on this journey with you. So one word. Not two, not three. Just one. Be in prayer and meditation about it. Consider it. And you'll know it. It'll speak to you, and it may cause some unrest. But around it, there should be some joy and excitement. There should be some pictures in your head starting to come up, just like it did for me. Some ideas will start happening about what that means in various areas of your life. I am divine. The Father and I are one. I am not a drop in the ocean. I am the ocean in a drop.